and welcome to Generation Shadow, the epic supernatural saga that takes you through the entirety of horror history, one nightmare at a time. This is our third episode of our Salem 1692 arc. This episode is entitled The Arrows of Death Fly Unseen at Noonday.
Yeah, they do.
So, let's meet some of the potential targets of those arrows of death.
It's a BTK poem.
I want, John, talking about John Edwards, one of our greatest American theologians. Sinners that solve everything's from Sinners in the Hand of an Angry God. His classic sermon.
Classic.
Yes. So let's go around and meet some of those sinners in the hands of an angry God. Starting with Dallas, I want to know who you are and who your character is. And if you want, we can go ahead and do the session intro move, where you will roll a faction, and you can maybe get some bonus information about them. Okay. And maybe through that we can kind of do a recap. If we go around, I'll do a further recap as well. So let's start with Dallas. Who's your character, and what's going on with them as we enter our third episode?
My character is Lars, taking on the last name of Anemone from migrating here. He's a Fey character. And he is basically running a storefront that is supposedly antiquities and such, but basically it's more of a loan shark and helps people in special situations who have incurred debts doing so from them. He's loving the repetitive side of humanity, seeing things just happen again and again in different cycles, and hoping to collect some power along the way.
And would you like to do your intro move and try rolling a faction?
I need a lot. So I will try rolling for wild.
Okay, and this will give you get to mark this faction.
Sweet.
Even if you fail.
The Fae's wild, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, so he wants to learn more about sort of the Runagate Brethren, his own people here.
Oh,
that was a really good roll.
That's a 12 total. So.
Wow, alright. So, you got a debt, or someone in the faction owes you a useful piece of information. So you could say, I know you kind of already, Sassamon asked you to rely on you.
I owe him, yes. He's expecting me.
Yes, he's expecting your support as a new arrival comes to the new world. So you can either maybe be good with this new arrival, Queen Grace, or you could learn some useful information about her. What would you prefer?
Even if she's considered friend or foe, more information is always good.
Ooh, okay. I will say she could be either, because fairies feud amongst themselves. The Fae are all, they're capricious, but they're always trying to get one over on each other. So she's friendly to you, but there are limits. However, the useful information you'll learn is that she needs something. She's in a weak position. Alright. Let's move on to
Hold
Cat.
on, I'm getting a Bible.
Of course, the good
You
book.
didn't dig that out, didn't you?
Ooh.
Oh, Jesus.
That reminds me, I said I don't know if it's time for a short, quick anecdote, but do we have time?
Sure.
So I was at a Renaissance fair a couple years back, and there was some people running around dressed as
Puritans.
As Puritans.
Yeah.
And one walked up, looked at the Bible, tore it out, and just shoved it down my shirt. I was wearing a lower cut, like a V-neck shirt, and you just stuffed it down my shirt and yells at me. I saw the Bible, I'm like, why does that remind me of that?
Whoa, well, it's old-fashioned. I mean, were they protesting dancing?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, yes.
Oh, it's very in character.
I was also in a kilt.
It is the devil's movement.
Yes.
And, smashing stained glass windows?
No, there was no stained glass windows to break, mainly because they're very expensive.
That is true. If you read a Renaissance fair, look, there are limits, I would say, but I guess they were going for it. Method actors. So, speaking of Puritans, let's meet our resident Puritan monster hunter, Goody Pruitt.
Hi, so I'm Kat, and I'm playing Goody Pruitt. She is a horrible person, but she thinks that she's doing the right thing and fighting Satan in all of his guises. And she's fighting them literally, which is to say, shooting at them with silver bullets and
Arrows.
holy arrows. She did just recently kill Asmodeus. Well, an
Statue.
And even that, well, as we're going to find out, you know.
She killed.
She killed a bunch of devil.
So yeah, so she's having a good time. She's sort of avenging her dead husband.
Maybe a dead husband?
I would say so.
She thinks he's dead.
Yeah, a werewolf.
Yes.
Oh, that's for sure.
He's dead too, regardless.
So, Goody Pruitt, what faction would you like to roll for this opening
I would
one?
like to investigate the wild, please.
Okay.
Mostly because I want to investigate the shop of Mr. Lars.
Oh, all right. So you're lurking around him. You had a little bit of downtime in between your last adventure.
I'm worried that the devil is moving through his shop.
Oh, yeah. Needful things.
You might owe me something.
All right, let's have you roll. Wild.
It's gonna be bad.
It's gonna be great.
She's at -2 with water.
Well, you still get to mark
Yeah.
it.
Holy crap!
That was
I said
really
it was
good.
gonna be great.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead and mark
possible.
wild.
That's the only thing she could roll to 60.
I know.
Oh, that's
great.
That is a 10.
It's blessed, you know. Hashtag blessed. So, okay, so Kat, mark wild, and what
Thank
are
you,
the
Jesus.
what are the questions you would like to ask, or would you like somebody in wild, perhaps Sassamon, Hungry Jacques, or maybe in some way Queen Grace nipping you to death?
Let's see. Well, I was curious about his shop specifically.
Okay.
So I want to know what's going on in that shop.
All right.
What's he doing in there? Is it to do with the devil?
Let's see. So
You
Lars,
consider
what
the devil.
Lars, what information do you think she could glean that would be of interest to her?
You would notice a really big mixture of items in the shop because I take things, whatever I can get to help somebody, right? And I can trade those for other things as well. So you'd find things from other fae who have come to me for help. You'd find things in there from people of low stature, high stature in the city. It'd be really...
That's what she's interested in. The people that have done business.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Look at
Especially anybody that might be involved in the Hangmen or Puritans.
Oh, all right. Well, you do find there are some Puritan notables, perhaps individuals with reputations that say they shouldn't have been in that shop were in that shop.
And what are the names?
You got a few names. You can add to the list of individuals you got who were at the Black Mass.
I'm trying to follow up leads on the Black Mass.
Ooh,
so
okay.
I feel like that might tie together.
Yeah, there'll be some overlap in those lists. Well, we're going to start with that actually in just a moment.
Regardless, Isaac Vo is getting tortured.
Ooh, okay. Well, we're going to
Poor
start
guy.
with that.
Poor guy.
Maybe not the torture.
Well, he should have thought about that before he got in league with Satan.
Just
Shouldn't we
how
all?
much corruption are you about to go under?
Well, if I'm not directly torturing him, then
That's true. Very
I can't lift heavy rocks, you know.
But you can.
After that, we have our werewolf, played by Nick.
Yes, I am Nick, and I'm playing Andrei Ionescu, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation, but hey!
Of course, you'll be doing an Irish accent poorly.
Yeah, fine.
That
I
Irish
am
accent's great.
doing a theoretical Puritan accent.
I love the accents. More accents, please. Yes.
All the accents.
So he
Don't
is
really know how they
a...
talked, but well, I'm doing down east and turning it up.
Love it.
A little more
Andrei
British.
is a old school from a long line of werewolves working all the way back to Transylvania. But he's originally from Romania. But he was
Castle Braun.
assigned to work with our good friend Claggett.
His lordship, yeah.
Yes.
Dead man.
And, yeah, for sure. He's a vampire. And you have been serving Lord Quincy Claggett and the Ordo Sanguis, who are master vampires, and a lot of werewolves work for them. Some ghosts, too.
Yep.
So, which faction would you like to roll?
Let's find out some information about the Power faction.
Ooh, okay, the Covenant, yeah.
Yes. Damn.
Dang, dude.
Wow,
What's
everyone's
the
rolling
rolls
great.
tonight.
Go ahead and mark that faction.
Yep.
And would you like to learn an interesting fact about them? Maybe like what they're planning, or maybe someone in that faction owes you? You have a prior relationship with someone in the Covenant of Angels?
Well, I already do, but nah.
Or would you like to go for the information?
Let's go with information. I'm kind of curious about that ritual and what is
Yeah,
happening.
the Angelus Aperture.
Yeah, and sort of like what was the deal with that, and
Okay, so you learned that this, and I think you might have, in the very first episode, when we examined it, it was like a tree, a living tree had been carved into a very simple, human, angelic form, and an angel is supposed to be conjured. Some strange noises going on.
I
Conjured
thought that was like something. I thought that was like
the gates
like
of hell
dis-
opening up.
dis- distant, windy screaming, and then it's just the garage being open. What's like? Wait, what?
An angel is supposed to inhabit it,
What
but
being did we summon?
now, yeah, oh boy. Now you and Padraig know that this ain't no angel,
Yeah, it ain't no
or if
angel.
it is, it's some entity like beyond human understanding that threatens to come through and inhabit this tree. So,
Which is always fun.
yeah, very scary. It's
Cool.
it's a Hail King Paimon perhaps situation. Either for your hereditary
King
heads
Paimon.
out there, yeah. Great movie, terrifying. And then finally, Padraig.
Hello, yes, I'm playing Padraig. The Irish, well, not really American, the Irish settler in the place he should not belong, Puritan New England. I'm playing the Aware playbook. So it means I'm just a normal dude with a gun. About it.
So far.
So far, yeah, so far.
So, let's have you, which faction would you like to roll?
I think I'm probably gonna roll Knights.
Okay, see what's up with Ordo Sanguis.
That's a 10.
Wow.
Jeez.
Everybody,
Just
tens across,
on the
across the board. So go ahead and mark Knight. And what would you like to know about Ordo Sanguis?
I want to know what the Ordo Sanguis may have some whether. Sorry, I want to know what the Ordo Sanguis has to know about the Inferno Club,
Okay.
or if they've had any dealings, or if there's any alliance between them. Just kind of generally where they're standing between each other.
What you find is a little bit surprising, considering that Lord Claggett wanted you to round up Sir Francis. But you find out that Ordo Sanguis and the Health and the Inferno Club were pretty tight with each other. There was a lot of overlap.
Until recently, most likely.
You know, I mean, devil worshipping orgy, blood drinking orgy, some crossover. So, even though he asked you to
like
go after Sir Francis, even though he asked you to go after Sir Francis and take him out, which you did,
there are some people
you realize
who
it might have been
vampires
him
were- had to do
maybe
with, like,
taking out a
fetishes
rival
and all
or
that.
using
Blood drinking as a fetish.
using that to like sow discord. All right, so I think that brings us to everybody's introduced. So a quick recap. All you guys are in Puritan New England. It's in Salem, an area divided between these four factions, and so far very uneasy pieces there, but the wrong thing could definitely set it off. And you guys were hired by Lord Claggett to investigate Sir Francis Flood, the occultist. He discovered a particularly nasty black mass, saved 2 individuals from human sacrifice, but later it was
And a
revealed
goat.
they were not human, and a goat. They were
Saved
not
a goat.
human. They were actually Queen Grace and another individual you might meet.
I do not know that.
Nope, I do.
You do not know that, but he was the one who she visited him later and explained, like, I owe you because you saved my life here.
Yes, give me all the debts.
Yeah. Queen Grace being a
Wolves need them.
powerful
Very poorly.
Queen Grace being a powerful
So-
Gaelic oceanic queen who has now arrived in the New World. And what you also discovered is at this Black Mask, a lot of Puritan men of good reputation and renown were
Not anymore.
were like involved in some satanic rituals. So we're going to go ahead in our first scene, in which Goody Pruitt and Padraig are called into the Hangman's house, the base of operations, and Reverend Wright and Damnation Wouldst Be Thy Lot, if not for Christ's mercy, Talbot, are there for kind of a debriefing.
Quick question. Were either of their names on the list?
No.
Good.
It would have been a very different story. Walk in, the arrows out
I
flying.
need to know, like, immediately before.
Murdering the leaders of the group.
She does her typical introduction to whoever is, like, guarding the place.
Yeah, just some, like, simple Puritan, black-clad guys with, like, muskets who kind of lead you in.
She says, "You know who I am, and you know why I'm here."
Yeah, they, like, wordlessly bring you
That's
up.
a badass catchphrase.
Yeah. It's a good catchphrase.
Thank you.
And they
Very
lead they lead Mr. Padraig in as well. So
Right.
you go up into the spartanly furnished central area.
I don't like this place at all. Not this color.
And they are waiting for you. Reverend White's like, please, sit.
Go get thee down, for thy people which thou broughtest out the land of Egypt have corrupted thyselves.
I know what she said.
Damnation says,
Good Reverend, damnation be thy... What? I gotta say his full name. Damnation will be thy lot without Christ's mercy. I have discovered in our midst Satanists.
We've all discovered it. Just you alone.
he's like, you speak of the devil, and yet a papist stands by your side.
I don't know about a papist.
Is this man a papist? He told me he was of good Puritan stock.
From North Ireland.
Before the situation worsened, Reverend Wright is like,
I don't know what
Peace.
you're talking about.
peace. There are Goodman Damnation. There are more pressing matters. You speak of the devil's hand at work?
Yes, in fact, I've brought one of his hands with me. And she takes out a hand of what's his name?
Oh, Sir Francis Flood?
Sir
Oh, yeah,
Francis
you guys
Flood.
behanded that guy.
Places it on
Ooh.
the table.
Yep.
And I
Right.
struck down this hand of the devil and brought it before thee to be cleansed.
Oh, Reverend White is, you can tell he's alarmed. Like, he's seen some stuff, but this is a shade beyond.
I'm gonna bring up part of the statue that we destroyed. I think this might have been a better proof of it rather than a hand.
This is the hand of the Diabolist.
And this is a statue that came to life in the owner of the hand's company.
So that I may strike it off so he can cause no more mischief. She'd like to roll on mortality. Or persuasion or something.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, trying to say that he's dead.
So what are you trying to persuade
That I did
Reverend
the
Wright?
right thing by cutting this guy's hand off so he could
Oh, I see.
diablerie and that we should be in a righteous Puritan frenzy. Honestly,
makes sense.
she's alarmed at him being alarmed.
Can I get in the way of this?
She's just trying to convince him that the hand belonged to like an occultist.
Okay,
Doesn't
yeah, that's
seem-
true. That's true.
Yeah.
I'm not that much.
All right, why don't you roll persuade?
Okay.
You just took a cut off hands,
That's with heart, right?
Carl.
Yes.
Yeah.
She doesn't have that. It's an 8.
Not so bad. Okay. So he's going to modify the terms a bit. Reverend Wright says, Goody Pruitt, your unyielding zeal does you much good, or gives you much credit. But perhaps one does not serve the will of the Lord alone. If you have names of those who also wrote their names in the Devil's Book, were members of this black mass,
The cowards fled into the night before I could apprehend any of them. However, I definitely knew that Isaac Lowe is amongst the number. And I also have a list of people that have been doing dealings with a Diabolist in town who I'm continuing to investigate. And she hands you the list of the people from his book.
Okay, he's like, Reverend White's looking these over. Damnation looks over his shoulder, and you can tell Damnation is like upset at this. He's like, these are upstanding Puritan men, God-fearing men, and we are to believe the word of this Slayer who keeps such company.
Damnation, I would...
Well, you brought me here. I wasn't here willingly.
Damnation, I would remind you of the debt that you owe to me.
I was not supposed to be here.
I've protected you from many dangerous things in these times past. You must trust my judgment now.
He's like, are you calling in the dead?
I'll call him the debt to get him to get on board and kill all these people train.
So much corruption.
She's not actually killing
She's not killing herself. All right.
That's debatable.
She's not hurting them herself.
You can call him this debt.
Getting other people to do it.
You can tell something is going on in his mind.
Yeah.
He's like, well, they say the Lord works in mysterious ways.
Aye, they do.
Is
None
there a
can
name
know his
upon this
purpose.
list that is bothering you, Damnation, would be thy lot?
Many of these names on this list bother me.
And they bother
These
me
are-
as well. They are supposed to be good Puritans, and yet here they are.
These are more than just churchgoers. The men here, listed here, some of their businesses in town make Salem what it is. If we are to simply remove them,
Well,
then Salem will perhaps collapse into nothing. Perhaps you saw the list wrongly. Maybe there are some other names that you could supply us with of those who would not be missed if they suffered judgment.
Well, we can institute other people that could take over the businesses and run them in a godly fashion, if one can run business in a godly fashion, which is debatable.
You've given him some food for thought, but you can tell he's
I
not
do
too
not
happy
like
about
being
that.
here at all.
Reverend White says, you have done us a kindness. I shall speak to Goodman Talbot. Take your Northern Irish friend and
Thank you.
and depart, if you would be so kind.
I forget who set us up together to begin with. Wasn't it the Hangmen?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they sort of brought you. I mean, they brought you too because you're like.
I'm like, why am I here?
She's incredibly confused by that because the Reverend's the one that set them up, so she's like,
Well, the Reverend's kind of okay with him.
Yeah.
Talbot's the one who was a little iffy about this guy.
Racist.
Yeah. So they send you on your way, and let's have another quick scene.
I just want to ask, where'd you get the list of names from?
the Lord provided them to me.
No, okay, no. The Lord didn't provide you with names like that. That was a written list. God works in mysterious ways, but doesn't hand you written lists out of the blue. Now where'd you get the dang names?
From my own personal Mount Sinai.
Sorry, what was I got? Did you go to Lars' store and look through his stuff?
Mayhaps.
Why would you do such a thing? He's our ally.
Is he?
Yes, he is. He's a good man. And just because he runs a store where people sell things to him in return for paying them out, doesn't mean they're evil. It doesn't mean he's a diabolist.
But he sells diabolical devices out of it.
I've never seen a diabolical device out of that store before.
And you do not have eyes that can see Satan, brother, and I shall pray
Maybe I
for
have eyes that have eyes that are clear and not clouded, like you are with your head in the clouds.
Ooh.
Nobody's ever accused me of having their head in the clouds. I'm the salt of the earth. I am so much the salt of the earth that Lot's wife would look at me and go, that woman is the salt of the earth.
Yeah, unfortunately, Lot's wife cannot talk.
No, because she is literally the salt of the earth.
And with that great biblical comment, let's go see what Lars, perhaps an agent of the devil, or maybe just a guy trying to run a business, is up to. And meanwhile, back at his store, I wrote down the name of some. There, where are we? The name of your lend a hand.
Oh, yes.
The Linda.
Yeah.
Sorry, that just came like at the moment. That
Feels
was
like
Yes.
good name.
No, it's good. Over at the old lend a hand, you are visited by 3 individuals. Sassamon and Hungry Jacques kind of come in as sort of like advanced scouts to
Yes,
make sure
that's
everything's okay.
Hester, could you please prepare some tea for me?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. And she goes over to who enters next is Queen Grace. And she has changed a bit since the poor red-legged woman who was going to be sacrificed. Right now she's wearing all this sea green finery, lots of pearls. Looks kind of like it's made out of seaweed and silk, fixed into sort of an old-fashioned, like Elizabethan style gown.
Do I recognize who she is
At
sight?
Maybe. Well, why don't you roll and put a face to a name, and we'll see if you do. She's pretty famous.
It's like she's probably done like 50 years ago.
So you're rolling wild for this one.
Extra.
I know, this is ridiculous.
8.
Okay, so you have not seen her in person, but you know her reputation.
So yeah, just her demeanor. I'm just like,
Yeah, I mean, there's not that many like sea fairy goddesses queens around, so
Gotcha.
she's the one. So she comes in and she's like, "You are Master Enemy. Tell me, does that name have anything to do with anemones?"
I haven't seen any since I've been diving.
Ah,
However,
they're marvelous little creatures down there. One thing I do so love about them is that they let the clownfish live in their tentacles, picking up the food and taking care of them. And a nice little arrangement is there between the anemone and the little clownfish swimming about.
now that is a word that I do care for. Arrangements.
Right now, I find myself torn away from the sea bottom. A big fish in a small pond, as it were. And what I could use from you is, well, if I am the uprooted enemy, if you were to be the clownfish swimming around in me tentacles, eating up the nasty little critters that got too close, well, perhaps a grand reward could come your way.
Ooh.
I keep forgetting about that.
Okay. Now, one thing I can definitely tell you, Grace, is that one thing I've observed in this land is to each their own. They do what they will, and as I've recently seen as mortality's chance at this, they just clearly do as they will. So I think that depending on your stance, you won't have too much fight if you really try to join the right side.
She's like, aye, that makes... It does make a sort of sense from what I've seen, but I also wish to return to my home. Unfortunately, and she holds up her hand, pulls down the sleeve, and you see there is this nasty chunk of, like, rusted iron inscribed with all sorts of weird occult symbols. Unfortunately, this makes it impossible. I was bound here by Sir Francis Flood, but with magic that was much too powerful for a dandy amateur sorcerer like him. There was someone behind it.
Oh, I can sense it.
Oh, yes, it pains me. Someone as me should never be anchored, but should move about as the tides. I wish this gone. There must be a ritual or a spell that could break this anchor and cast me free. I would, because you know these people in this land, perhaps you can find it, as well as the one who enchanted me.
So if I help you with this, will I have your word that when the time comes, you will take your journey home?
Yeah, you don't need to roll for that.
Ooh.
She's like, would like nothing more.
Well, then you come to the right place.
Where they always lend a hand.
She's like, well, I'll leave you to seek restorative. Perhaps my the Frenchman can assist you. Would you like him to stay put and oversee my interests? And Hungry Jacques is like, my queen, I would like nothing more.
Did you see the...
But it's sort of up to you. Do you want? So she's asking. She's kind of offering but insisting to let Hungry Jacques stay. To observe you.
To observe me.
Yeah, to kind of like make sure you're serving her and helping her break out of this chain.
Okay.
So if you want him to be there, he'll be there. But if you want him to not be hanging around you, it might take something else.
Okay. Let's put it this way, Jacques. This is called lend a hand, but we expect you to do your part as well.
Oh, and that's how I will. All right, so Hungry Jacques going to stay with you. Sassamon and Queen Grace return to the woods
I'm an
where
observer.
the Runagate Brethren are hanging out. right, Andre. While this is going on, you get another private meeting with your boss, Lord Claggett himself.
Before that, I would like to actually do my Council of the Territory, which I'm supposed to be doing every session.
Oh, right, at the beginning, yeah.
Yes, so let us roll. Oh gosh. Well, plus blood. Okay, 5, 6, 7. That's still a 9. So one of my troubles resurfaces. I don't. It says my choice, but I'm not sure exactly what kind of troubles would be surfacing.
Okay, well, I got something. And what it is that there's a few other wolves who, of your acquaintance, who are going to be joining you and Lord Claggett in this meeting. I'll do a little introduction for him.
Sure.
So Lord Claggett meets with you back in the Merry Codfish, the little inn kind of off to the side, where he was... No, you were defenestrated. He was just shot with a few arrows.
Yes,
He
and
was-
I
he was
rolled
impaled.
for the devils cast me out a window.
Yeah, but I mean, you landed without getting hurt, so it worked
Indeed,
out.
I did.
Cat-like grace.
Praise Jesus.
I mean,
You were here, and now you're here.
yeah. So Lord Claggett, he's still recovering. He's like,
It's like having a Bible in front of you.
I do
You can see
hope
it.
that woman did not hurt you too badly.
only my pride. You can tell this is a lie. Like his flesh, he's looking more like a corpse than like the fancy black-clad, white-wigged gentleman that you.
Yeah.
Need some iron.
I
recently
did-
know,
I did
yeah.
9
If you would like,
harmonies,
I can-
bitch-ass
Oh
guys.
yeah. He's real. He's just like the flesh is sort of fallen away, so you can see like all the bone of his skull, and he's just constantly drinking. He's got like a big old bottle of red, and he's just swigging to replenish his health.
If you would
So-
like, I can take care of that woman.
He's like, that woman is but a part of a much grander problem. This new world, it requires taming. Unfortunately, this new world, for the time being, is my home. Those fools back in England cast me out here into the wilderness. But I shall grow strong. He's chugging the wine, or not? He's chugging the blood. I shall grow strong and return to wreak vengeance and reclaim my former glory.
In my character's endless quest to destroy his powerful NPCs. I forget that they're showing up later, and I'm like, I'm gonna kill them all.
Yeah, no, he does show. He appeared in our French Revolution. He took some damage there too, but he's a cunning one, so it takes a lot to kill a vampire like him. So he says, what you need. So speaking of the wilderness,
Yes.
it needs management and control, and there is none better than a wolf to rule the wood.
As far as I can tell, my territory has been well guarded.
That it has. What if this territory could be enlarged? Andre, I shall let you labor under no illusions. I do not wish to stay here. Even the blood tastes less refined. I am for London, but I will need someone here to look after my affairs. I would like it to be you. Would you care to take this responsibility?
That could be something that I...
Very good, my boy. But, do not worry. I would not ask you to run this land alone. In fact, I'm offering you command of a certain organization that you well know. And with that, he's like indicating through the tree. You can see down below in the woods. There are a bunch of other werewolves in like wolf form. These are some big gnarly looking wolves, like maybe the size of like tigers. They're kind of pawing around, all with very shiny, like black kind of velvet fur, and it looks like they've spent a lot of time. What am I? This is my like. my wolf acting. They spend a lot of time grooming and preening themselves. Like these are some wolves that care about their personal appearance.
Yeah, best sodomites.
Well, these are the Howling Hussars, who are sort of kind of like an elite squad of wolves that Ordo Sanguis uses to, like, sort of like the Hessian mercenaries were used in the Revolutionary War. They're just kind of like shock troops. So, Lord Clyde is pointing to these Howling Hussars and saying, they could serve under your command. Now, Andre, you know the leader of the Hussars, a particularly nasty wolf. I'm trying to think of a good, like, kind of Hessian name. Let's call him Ludwig. Yeah.
Ludwig.
Yeah, he's like, Bavarian. He's one of those, like, one of their, like, forest regiment. Jaegers, I think?
Hunters, yeah.
Yeah. Who's like those, like, they're like kind of in charge of like forest combat during the Napoleonic Wars and all the wars before that. Yeah.
Jägermeister.
Yeah, he's a real Jägermeister, this Ludwig. But he does not like you. You guys have kind of been like rivals.
You wish me to be in command of that one?
Yeah, Ludwig's like kind of looking at you and growling a bit.
Shut it, you.
And Lord Claggett says, I trust you, my boy, to assert dominance. Now...
You're gonna pee on him? Sorry.
Now, why don't you go away? I need my rest. He's like, more blood. So, as he sends you on your way, is there anything else you want to ask him or talk to him? Or before we kind of move on to... Padraig for some even darker doings.
Then is it my turn? I got plans.
You're actually all going to be summoned together to like the town square. Well, actually, Kat, why don't you tell me what you want to do after we have Patrick's scene?
She wants to go talk to Damnation. Would be that lot without Christ's mercy in private.
Okay. I'm going to say he avoids you. Like he doesn't want to. And it's suspicious, but he's taking care to be where you aren't.
Okay, can I roll on mortality?
Let's have Patrick's scene, and then we'll get back to you for that, and then we'll go to everybody meeting together. So, sorry, Nick, we kind of cut you off. Is there anything else you want to? You can always come back to you too.
No, I want to see if I can.
If inspiration strikes there about.
See if I can roll with Knight somehow, because that's the last one that I need.
Oh, okay. You could put a face to a name for Ludwig.
Sure. Let's see if I can.
I mean, you already know him, but like, maybe you'll know what he's up to. Yeah, that would do it.
Yeah. Nope.
All right. Well, you know what? You still get to mark it, so you don't really know what Ludwig's up to here.
Was that a miss?
3, 4 plus Knight. No. It's a 5, so
that is a miss.
You know, as part of the miss, they can owe him a debt.
Ooh, okay.
I forgot to ask something while we're right between scenes. Did I heal it?
Yeah. Enough time has passed. You've all completed like one level.
Yes. Or you owe them. I think that.
So you can mark like bandages or stitches, or yes, just they heal completely.
Yeah, I reclosed my stitches.
Yes, the stitches were taken out. You're all healed. It's got
I'm not completely
done
healed.
anything about
Oh,
it.
okay.
In the last battle,
like
my
that.
stitches got reopened.
Ooh, all right. They're all good there. Okay, so
because of the miss, I think I owe him a debt, and I haven't done anything about that debt, and so that's why he hates me.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. What do you think you did, or what do you think he like did for you? What's the reason for his debt? This bad blood between the wolves.
I think I. Well,
I want to use my 1F bomb.
What?
I said I want to use my 1F bomb. Don't worry about it. It's not appropriate.
All right.
You ate his kibble?
Well, okay.
You got too aggressive with the butt sniffing.
No, it has to be a debt. So I think he was the one who helped me to get to get close to Claggett and be...
Yeah, kind of by the introduction. That's cool.
Then you kind of usurp them a little bit.
Yeah, that makes sense. You kind of sort of like the favorite, but with wolves. I sort of imagine. I don't know. Maybe not.
I mean...
Rub my leg.
Yeah, stick my.
Actually, you could rub his legs right now. I'd probably really like that.
Oh yeah, they're just like bone. It's real gross.
I know, I shot him with blessed arrows.
Yep. So, speaking of blessed stuff, or the opposite of,
Yes.
Padraig, you took Satan's eye,
Yeah, I did.
or Asmodeus. Let's be clear with our demonology.
Asmodeus' eye.
Yeah. And you have been just, when you're alone, out of Goody Pruitt's sight for sure, I bet, you've been, like, examining it.
I do already suspect him of being a papist, huh?
What?
Well,
What the last part?
Goody Pruitt would be real upset because as you're looking at this eye, that goat that you saved from the sacrifice, this, like, black goat, it comes back,
Gosh.
and it's talking to you.
I like the taste of butter, kid.
Yes, exactly.
Hello,
I
Blackfoot.
got some butter right here.
Yeah, so Asmodeus is like, as the goat, I see you gaze into mine eye.
Unfortunately, I do, don't I?
Tell me, what hath thine own eyes seen in your past?
Can't
In
keep
thy
up.
past, dang it. In thy past, yeah.
Can't keep up with them. Fucking wolf. Whatever the hell Lars is, and then of course the maniac. I just can't keep up with them. And I want to be able to pull my weight and do something.
is for Christ.
The goat is like clicking around you and is like, and mayhaps thou'st never could. Think
Unless-
back to the hills of thy youth, and the red coats tread, and all the red they shed there. Thy had not the strength to stand against them, but if thy was to gaze into the eye, then the strength.
If thou wouldst.
Yeah, if thou wouldst gaze into
wood.
the eye in thy hand, then the strength shall belong to thou. Should be unto thee. You're right.
Unto
oh
thee.
my God,
That's fine.
Shakespeare!
Shakespeare.
I absolutely, yes, I look into it. I look into it.
All right. This is like, this is like writing your name. This is like, dost thou see a book before thee?
Except there's no book.
There's no book. It's just an eye, but he guides your eye. And you make a deal with the devil. So we kind of talked this before. You now get to get these new moves from the Tainted.
Yes. Actually, ignoring my mortal responsibilities and making a deal with the devil, marked my last corruption to get my first corruption advance. Which, on top of that, I took movement of the archetype. So I took the devil inside. And then as my corruption, I took, I don't know the exact names, but essentially I increased one of my stats and I gave myself a bit of armor.
When you take the devil inside, does that mean you can literally become a devil now?
Yep.
I can hurt you as much as I want.
I'm still mortal. I'm still mortal.
Well, you're a mortal who was sold his soul. That's sort of what the Tainted is. So you're kind of like the devil's agent.
Yeah, I can kill the shit out of me.
And that is, I mean, he's not quite a Tainted, but think of it, if it quacks like a duck kind of situation, maybe.
If he can literally
Well, no,
turn into a demon...
because there is a thing that after 5 advances you can change to a new archetype. So,
I'm
just shy of
If
that.
you
Yeah.
demon out, I feel like I don't have to mark corruption.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Okay.
Just in my normal human form.
Right now, I don't know that any of this has happened.
Oh,
so
of course
I
not.
would,
true.
I would
No,
feel,
the group doesn't know this is happening.
Yeah.
I would feel minorly bad about killing you. I would have to take a whole point of corruption.
Wow, I can actually even make you, if I die as part of my drama move, and you don't feel inspired by it, you take an entire corruption advance.
Sweet.
Whoa.
Yeah.
All right.
You where it dies, it's bad news.
Wow. So I mean, this might happen with some of our characters might not survive the arc.
Yeah.
And speaking of which,
Only good things happen to other people when I die. So.
well, speaking of that,
I'd have to like you, though.
All of you, so in kind of like mid-afternoon, after these sort of individual meetings, all of you are summoned to like the town square of Salem. This is like kind of the common, the green area where usually everyone's grazing their sheep and going about their business. And there is, in the center, a rather nasty hanging tree that has brought about the end of several innocent men and women.
Not innocent. I don't know what Papist Sodomite told you that.
It wasn't me.
Generation Shadow does not condone witch hunting.
The language that we currently use in this.
We are against Matthew Hopkins. We're against the burning times. Witch finding is not okay.
It's great. Do it.
No. Views of the characters in Generation Shadow do not represent Time to Tabletop or the Generation
nor
Shadows
the players.
or the other players.
And I remind you, thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. It's in there.
All right. So,
I think that's Old Testament.
quite a few other.
It's not even
It's all good.
Yeah, it's all the good book, right? Yeah. So, quite a few other Salem residents have been summoned as well. It's like someone sort of called a town meeting.
I wonder why.
And as you guys are all together, something particularly odd starts to happen. It's a gray, overcast day, as it always is.
That's New England.
But now it starts
That's
to.
accurate.
But now it starts to rain, but not water. Instead, some like frogs are coming down.
That's quite biblical, isn't it?
These frogs are just sort of falling from the sky. Some splattering, others hop into safety, and the Puritans are terrified. Good men and good wives are holding their children close. It's a very scary event.
This plague has come upon us due to the activities of Satanists in our midst. I have seen these rituals with my own eyes and taken measures against it. Even now, God's hand moves against those of you that have committed sins against him.
And then you hear from Damnation Talbot, who comes walking in with a young girl next to him, or like a teenage girl. And this is you know her, Goody Pruitt. She's actually a friend of your daughter, as well as Virtue. Her name is Obedience Olmsted. And
Great naming.
yeah, I mean, I looked up more of these excellent Puritan names.
I believe you. I'm just
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she is like dark hair, is looking very nervous, and
I wonder why.
Damnation-
Damnation Talbot's right there.
yeah, Damnation Talbot's like holding your arm. And Damnation Talbot says, "The devil speaks in the Lord's own tongue. Goody Olmsted, tell us what happened." And Olmsted is like, "Pruitt came to me at night. She had 3 familiars, a papist, a wolf, the guy who owns Lend a Hand. He was there.
No.
They
Just because
bewitched
doesn't mean I'm a
me.
papist.
And Damnation Talbot says, "You have heard it.
This is
Satan has sent this woman into our midst to spread dissension and discord. She is his agent. She should be taken and tried for witchcraft."
This is despite me calling in the debt with him.
Yeah.
What did that do me? Exactly. Because it doesn't seem like it did me a lick of good.
Well, he is going to, as a character, he's losing face with his faction. In fact, you can see like Reverend Wright is like aghast at this.
Reverend Wright, will you not admit that within the office and your presence in the eyes of the Lord, this man did proclaim that money was what was valuable out of this colony, rather than praising the good Lord's name?
Reverend Wright says, I will not bear false witness. It is so. And Talbot, you are bearing false witness right now. You are sinning against a godly woman.
Aye, and I'd say unto thee, damnation, it is easier for a camel to go through the eye of the needle than for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven. Matthew 19:24.
Oh man, take that prosperity gospel.
Also, Matthew 5:30. Matthew's your favorite book.
I wonder why.
Yeah, it's a good. I mean, I'll be honest. Like top top 3 gospel of the bunch. I don't know.
If thy right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee, for it is profitable for thee to be one of thy members should perish, and not thy whole body shall be cast into hell. And yet, when I took the gospel literally, you were aghast at it.
Ooh.
You all know me. You know why I'm here. I work for the Lord. And I cast you, Damnation Talbot, before his judgment.
So Talbot says he's also facing the crowd. He's appealing to them, and he's like, as always, as it says, and we know the devil can quote scripture, and this one is snorting, giggling. One of the witch's familiars. I will tell you that I saw with my own eyes. She was sent to Gethsemane to the heretics in the woods, and she returned, and they were unharmed. She made deals with them. And you have obedience, Olmsted. Look, see.
We brought back Virtue Right, if you might recall. We brought her back from those devil worshippers out there.
Yes.
We brought her back safely, and still believing in God above.
In fact, they were done at the Good Reverend's request, and that no harm was brought to them, also at the Good Reverend's request. You can, in fact, witness that I did, in fact, want to harm them very much.
Yes, she didn't.
And yet I'm a woman of my word, and I respect my elders, unlike you, Damnation Talbot, who has violated already 2 of the 10 Commandments.
You're bearing false witness against us. You know that's right.
Have you ever spent more than 5 minutes with her?
It's slightly
We tried to
insufferable.
kill something.
All right.
It was against.
Let's have. I think let's do a persuasion like on the crowd, because that's sort of what both sides are appealing to at this point. Reverend Wright's sort of on. I mean, he's on your side.
Is there anything that I can do with my mortality of 3 to like, help with that?
Well, you're rolling.
I am kind of hunting now.
I don't know. You're rolling with your heart, not with mortality for persuasion.
Yeah.
Someone could. I would say we could try. I think when Patrick was chiming in, that was him lending a hand.
That was a good line.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a good line.
Yeah, I think that sounds like a lend a hand to me. So let's have him roll that. So he's rolling mortality. You get to mark that too for lending a hand.
7.
Okay. So you get a +1 to whatever you roll for persuasion, Kat.
Nice. I don't suppose that threatening to burn Damnation Talbot at the stake would count as a weapon.
What? Sorry.
As a weapon.
No. Like verbal weapons. I don't know if those count.
Hey, I'm just trying everything to get some.
No. I like it. You get +1 from Patrick. So.
Well, shit, that's a 10.
Okay. So the crowd right now,
The crowd's on our side. Don't tell them a second.
the crowd is.
I think it's pretty obvious when I'm being her because I'm very loud and I'm very New England.
Yeah, and very quoting, very biblical.
I don't think she would ever say "suck it."
That'd be really funny. I can imagine.
Suck it, Satan. Suck it hard.
Oh man, take that, devil! All right, so the crowd at this point is they're not quite believing damnation, but they've been through this whole rigmarole enough to trust terrified teenage and adolescent girls about who was bewitching them. Reverend Wright is trying to calm everyone down. He's like, peace, and he goes over to you and he's like, Goody Pruitt, I beg of thee, for the love you bear me, I ask you, let us the Hangmen take you and your friends into custody. Then you will have a chance to clear your name at a trial.
But I rolled a 10.
Well, yeah, you have this is it. He's like,
This is us not getting out of the situation.
He's
not
like,
great.
Yes, he's like, you will be able. One of you can be appointed as the lawyer. Maybe, perhaps not you, as that would be weird to have a woman speaking for you. But one of you could be the lawyer and argue on behalf. And if you could find the truth to this, then a jury would find you innocent. I ask you, let law take its course. And you can see there are some, a few hangman guards that are coming in to, with muskets.
I demand trial by pressing.
Reverend Wright is...
I don't think she speaks for all of us.
Right, you wish for me to press you?
Aye, the Lord will take my soul up unto him and damn the rest of you to hell for your actions against him.
Reverend Wright says, you are truly a godly woman, but I suppose there were many saints who faced similar torments and welcomed them. Very well, I would ask that you come with me, and your friends as well. We will go to the Hangman's house, and there we shall discuss your judgment, and we shall arrange this pressing.
Very good.
I forgot my chances in cards, to be honest.
That's why I hate the Puritans.
So the guards kind of fall into step and all escort you over into the Hangman's house.
I've lived too long.
They take you into sort of like a basement area where quite a few other unfortunates have been held on these witch charges. Some perhaps found innocent, but quite a few others have ended up on the tree outside. And as this miscarriage of justice continues, you are all kind of thrown in. Lars, you do notice Hungry Jacques was in the crowd. He's kind of keeping to the outskirts, but he is following you guys too.
Okay.
You do start to lose sight of him when you get to the
He's keeping tabs.
yeah, when you get to the Hangman's house and you're put into the basement area. So now you're all kind of alone, like in there.
Question: does Talbot still have that really fancy rapier on him?
Yeah.
Yeah. Motherfucker. That's my F-bomb.
It's okay.
There's my one.
I know that I'm not an agent of the devil, and therefore I shall die in this trial, but they shall believe me about this list of Satanists and make sure that if they wish to escape damnation as a colony, that they shall look into it.
And unfortunately,
I've done the Lord's work.
fucking damnation's kind of got a lot of clout in this town.
He won't anymore after my death.
I hope not.
Sure.
Because after that, if not, we find ourselves in the gallows, and I don't like that option.
The only way in which he would be proven right is if Satan rescues me from being crushed to death.
He's going... Let's be honest. We're being framed right now, and absolutely something like that's going to happen.
Well, then if that is the case, then I shall investigate it further.
Well, unfortunately, we'll be hung on a tree out there the moment it happens. Or they'll drown us, or they'll do some of the other abominable ways they
I
get rid
should
of
have
witches.
requested trial by drowning.
I wish you'd rather take our chances in court, to be honest.
That's what guilty people do.
That's what smart people do.
Nobody's ever accused me of being smart. The devil puts...
That'd be a first, wouldn't it?
All right. So it sounds like you guys are kind of at an impasse.
Yeah.
At
She's
this,
ready to die to prove her innocence.
I know, I'm not.
yeah, you do have three others who are innocent of this.
The question is Reverend Wright still down here?
He is kind of headed out at this point.
Oh, now someone questioned like so about the pressing.
But yeah, you can go over and ask.
So
him,
does that mean that she's getting pressed, and if she dies and she proves that she was innocent, do we get released, or are we all getting pressed at the same time?
He's like, well, it's to be fair, we've never really had witches familiars on trial or a papist on trial. So
I'm not a papist. I'm not a papist, though.
Right? As you say. But then again, that's what a papist would say.
Do I look like anyone's familiar to you?
The devil takes 1,000 forms.
I am not even from this place.
To be quite honest, I do not even like this man.
Well,
to be honest, no one likes you.
as I was saying, it is an unfamiliar situation.
I get it, familiars?
Yes, unfamiliar regarding familiars. Perhaps you could be pressed as well to prove your own innocence. Or some other charge. Maybe Talbot could examine you for a witch's teeth. Somewhere upon your person. If that would...
Regardless of it, I've saved Talbot's life, and if the Lord sees fit for him to make false accusations against me, so that I may be pressed to prove myself for the Lord, then such is my fate. Whether or not these men have enough faith in the Lord to be pressed as well is up to them, not up to me.
Reverend Wright says, I fear Goodman Talbot has fallen under the devil's clutches.
And
And my death shall prove such a thing.
With that nice rapier of hers as well?
a nice rapier.
Yeah, did you not see that damn thing? That thing's beautiful. More than any...
I prefer to look people in the eye, not at their swords. But if
You
you
obviously do not know your people.
Yeah, he's got a nice rapier attached to his hip. I saw it actually before we went looking for your daughter. Always kind of thought it was strange that such a godly man would have such a materialistic possession.
sounds like, I mean, I'm going to say, you're persuade if you want to keep going with this.
Okay.
I was like, you're not, like, you're trying to distract him to the
Assist.
rightness. So you're also agreeing about this fancy rapier. Okay, so let's have Kat roll for the assist. So roll with mortality.
As I have quoted Matthew repeatedly to you, he seems to be quite obsessed with material possessions, which is quite against our laws.
I was going to say, because mortality is the Hangman's faction, but he is mortality too.
Yes, I am mortality.
So you do roll with mortality.
Either way, it's mortality. Either way, it's mortality. That's
Pretty good. Yeah. So you get the +1.
I have three in mortality.
That's excellent. That's 9 plus your 1, so 10.
Okay. So right is like the Hangman's task is to keep Salem safe. It is said, perhaps, that I have maybe heard it implied that damnation would even take the devil's tools to his own if that would serve that end, to protect the town. He would pay that price, and I fear that is what he has done.
The real question is, why are you taking the word of a teenager?
Well,
That's how they always done.
Because she's without sin. Except
true.
all
But-
people are technically with sin, as we are.
According to your book,
determination.
all are with sin.
Yes.
He's like, that is
However, they do believe that the teenage child is more pure than me.
He's like, well, that is a fair question, though. Why would obedience, who is, as the name would suggest, an obedient child, why would she follow damnation's lies?
Unless she's not who she says she is.
That may be so.
The main thing, Reverend, is that you
Perhaps
saw
she
his...
is the familiar that you were looking for.
No, I've known her entire life.
As have I. Reverend, if something is held against this child, it will be up to you upon my death to discover what it is. I
Obviously,
would prefer
she's
to...
lying, which is a sin according to you people.
That is true.
Although
that's
she
true.
could be bedeviled. We don't know yet.
That is...
This is also a sin, isn't it?
I would... Well, one... I mean, this wasn't a term back then, but... he's going to coin the term. I'm changing history. One must despise the sinner. Or wait, no. One despises the sin and loves the sinner. He says, coining that term to hate the sin, love the sinner.
My main...
No, that's something in the Bible as well.
Oh, the Bible actually says
There's
that.
something
so-
very similar to it.
Yeah, love the hate the sin, love the sinner. Okay.
Reverend,
Yeah.
here's my main point. As if the devil is working through Talbot, he is trying to remove one of your greatest warriors from the ranks by having you killed. However, I shall not do it under the terms, and I shall not subscribe to the court of man. I subscribe to the court of God, as you know. And I've always said that if anything came against me, that I would demand such things as trial by drowning or trial by pressing. You know that of me.
He's
For
like,
only the Lord can judge me, not these citizens, many of whom I have proven to you are bedeviled.
he says, you speak the truth, Goody Pruitt, and I shall do what I can to examine this and prove your innocence while you wait here and we begin the proceedings for your trial. But the martyr's path is not an easy one, and I remind you, there are 2 children who need their mother and need you to look after them. You guard more than just this community.
Ruth has grown strong both in spirit and in body. She could take care of David certainly fine. Upon her age, I already had 5 children who had been taken to the Lord.
Perhaps that is so, but I ask you, would the Lord wish more grief upon her?
The Lord gives as much grief as one can bear. Thou hast read the book of Job.
He says, true, but I would hesitate. There is a difference, perhaps. Job did not make for himself the trials that the Lord put in his path.
I have not
I
made this
fear,
promise.
no, I I do fear that if you examine this, that if you look at their situation, I think you will see that perhaps some of these trials are those that you yourself have set up. I will leave you with that in your mind. And he heads off to begin investigating Talbot. For Reverend Wright's on the case, you guys are once again in this little basement area. And after a little while, you hear like some howls and roars outside, and like a musket blasts, and there's silence. And then, in a little bit more, Hungry Jacques comes in. And he's like, Do not worry, friends. They are only resting. the guards.
Resting for eternity, aren't they?
Well, I did not fill my appetite. And you can see
Lucky?
you can see like he's working real hard to keep the Wendigo in him in check. Like bits of like fur are poking out. His teeth are getting a little bit extra pointy. There's more of a kind of gorilla-like size and musculature to his arms. He's sort of trying to force it back. But he like grips the door and he's like, this will be a small matter to pull it free and rescue you. I think you wish to go, yes?
Yeah, I kind of wish I'd like to get the hell out of here.
Very good.
But it's also not going to be very good if we escape, though.
You may all leave. I shall stay.
He says,
Just claim that you banished us.
it will be...
No, I will say that you left, as mortals would do. But I will stay here to accept my punishment. Surely I've offended the Lord in some way.
Unlikely.
He's like, it would be bad for you
To die
if you
here?
were to stay. Yes, I think...
We need to
The,
investigate this obedience.
Yes, and in fact, I was not sent here by Prince Henry. Instead, someone that you know sent me. The woman who was once your friend.
Chastity?
Wait, why did he say I? We?
We?
In Gethsemane of the Covenant, she sent me here to bring you and your friends to her. I think they are in trouble and they need your help, yes?
Well, I cannot refuse a good friend of mine. Even if this might make me look guilty, if my friend calls to me, I shall go to her. That is what the Lord declares.
He's like, well, I think soon there is, battle within the Hangmen between damnation, the damned one, and the Reverend. I think the damned one might win. If he does, your trial, it will not be so fair. So, your escape, well, cannot make a bad situation worse, because your situation already is bad as it can be. Anyway,
I would agree.
I take you on the Chasse Gallery. He brings you out, and you can see he was able to knock out the two guards. He just rips the door off its hinges, leads you out, and there in the forest floor area, there is like a canoe just sitting there. And he's like, "Come on, in you go."
Hey, I'm getting right in. I'm getting the hell out of this place.
You go into the canoe, and he starts paddling. It is a flying canoe that lifts up and flies safely through the moonlit woods.
Very interesting vessel.
I have questions.
Before we
I want
leave
one.
the cell, she writes in her own blood.
Oh, dang, okay.
Leviticus 24:19-21.
Of course. And that quote
And a man who injures his countryman as he has done, so it shall be done to him, namely, fracture under for fracture, eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. Just as another person has received injury from him, so it will be given to him.
Ooh, a threat to damnation.
Nice. Nothing about taking hands in there, but that might end up
Yeah,
happening.
close enough.
You guys do kind of have a history of
Just
talking
show-
about hands.
She just, will kill him.
Yeah, I mean, the hands are like the eyes of the arm.
That
So-
was a Matthew
did-
thing.
did
Now
we-
she's moved to Leviticus.
Did we kill Flood?
That's Old Testament, so all
Leviticus is
good
Old
there.
Testament.
Yeah.
She's pretty pissed off.
Did we end up killing Flood or something? I
No,
forgot.
he's still unconscious. left in his
I kept him
Lend-A-Hand.
alive.
Store.
Oh, I just realized the guy you chopped the hand off, he's in the store called Lend-A-Hand. Oh, man. That was like just a horrible
circle.
coincidence.
No, accidental kids. I was waiting for someone to pick.
He's stuck in an Iron Maiden or something.
We have devices. And
So, the Chase Gallery takes you through the sky and brings you to Gethsemane. This is kind of the outdoor settlement that the Covenant of Angels has been living in. They are a group of outcasts from Salem, and they have their own rough settlement here with a couple cabins. Definitely not like with the size or furnishings of Salem, but still a comfortable enough place to live. And they were attacked by the Mockin men last time, so they got like a few sentries out. And of course, they're at the back. That Angelos aperture is still being worked on by these
I don't know.
witches. Yeah. So the canoe sets gently down. Goodwife Bessie Barlow, the leader of the Covenant, is seated on her log and like waiting for you guys to head over there. And yeah, so she kind of welcomes you in.
good to see you again, good wife Marlo.
Good evening, good wife. I do need a message sent to my children to go to the safe house. I believe that their lives might already be in danger.
She's like, very well. I'll send. It is a long road and a dangerous one. I'll send one of our sisters down to fetch them.
Very good. They know where the safe house is. They can go to that. No man or devil can enter it.
Very well. And she sends one of the messengers, a woman who hops on a fast horse, gallops away into the night. So Goody Barlow says, well, it appears the four of you are, like us, outcasts from Salem town.
I was never really one with Salem.
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, I just vaguely live there.
Well, you seem most unwelcome there now, and it is the fault of one man, if man he be. I speak of your master, Wolf.
Lord Claggett.
Yes, this is Lord Claggett's doing.
So he is the one that pulls on damnation strings.
I
He's
fear
also
it
the
is so.
He's also probably the one that brought over the Inferno Club as well.
Why did you say that?
They're friendly.
I've not heard of this. Oh, like, actually, have I?
Probably not. Like, because I'm sure the Ordo Sanguis doesn't invite, like, their werewolf guards into their orgies. They're like, you guys stay outside.
Yeah, to be honest. I mean,
have I heard
yeah.
any sort of rumors or information about that kind of
Why don't you roll... I'm thinking, why don't you roll hit the streets?
Sure, yeah.
Or just, you're just like rolling with the faction. So
Yeah.
roll with the faction of Night.
See, that's why I wanted her to follow damnation, because she figured he was going to pull something like that.
Yeah.
But he didn't let me.
Well,
Okay.
you figured it out. For sure. So, the end's the same. Sorry.
Sorry. She just would have killed him beforehand.
Yeah, I was kind of
or tried.
or tried
Or
to.
tried.
I mean, he's a really acclaimed fighter, so... Nick, how'd you do with the roll there for Night? You get to mark Night. A 10. Okay. So, yeah, you definitely know this is true. Like, maybe when you were chained up outside one of their, like, mansions, as the guard, you saw a bunch of, like, foppish Inferno Club men
Members.
coming in
right.
to one of the Ordo Sanguis' little, like, blood bashes.
I remember those people.
Yeah, lots of powder, lots of beauty marks.
Yeah, I guess,
Their cravats were on point.
which is interesting because it doesn't make much sense why they would want us to go after Sir Francis Flood, except maybe to get rid of someone with,
I would imagine they just wanted an enemy removed from power so they could consolidate their own.
or tie up a loose end.
For instance, what Damnation Talbot just did to me.
Yeah.
It seems I must have a talk with my master.
I think we all need to talk to your master eventually. So I'm guessing it's also where Talbot got his fancy-ass rapier.
I must admit I am disappointed that your master still lives. Should have been more than enough holy
It's
weapons.
hard to kill a vampire. real hard to kill a
Takes
vampire.
lot. My master
I
has
should have
lived
been
a long
reduced to
time
ash
for a
and bone,
reason.
though.
Goodwife Barlow says,
The way he's been treating me. Not
I
sure.
fear... Oh, sorry, what did you say?
No,
Yeah, the way he
just-
was treating you?
The way he's been treating me, I'm not sure if I enjoy being his servant for very much longer.
What was he trying to do?
He's just not very... He's obviously keeping things from me.
I mean, you're just as enforcer, not as nut buddy.
She says, Lord Claggett, your master may indeed be keeping things... Wait, I'm not speaking in his voice. Because I'm saying his name. Lord Claggett may indeed be keeping things from you. He is a vampire, but even though he has lived many, many years, he is still, in most of the ways that count, a man. With all the cunning and with the thin skin of that breed. It forced him... He was forced out of England to come here. He wishes to try and claim this place and return home. And to do so,
I knew he had ambition, but
he seeks chaos from which he might rise. That means putting the Hangmen against us, putting us against the Hangman, using all the powers at his disposal to cause war between
Creating
the
a
factions
plague
that
in the
cause
middle of
Salem.
town.
If you do not mind me saying so, it seems as though he's going to make a play for the Hangmen to drive the Reverend out. I think that before that can happen, before he can amass any sort of force, we need to move against him as strongly as the Lord can provide. I have a house filled with weaponry, and the means to use it. We shall cleanse this land with blood.
I think she seems to sort of like the idea, but I think you're going to roll a persuade on her
Okay.
to really get her on your side. So you're going to roll with power.
Okay.
And we're asking for her help.
Well,
So-
I think like
I'm rolling on her faction power.
yes for persuade. Oh, wait, sorry, my bad. You're persuading with heart. I was thinking of someone lending a hand.
Okay.
Which, yeah.
Gotcha. Can I use my Do You Feel Lucky move to roll with blood instead of heart?
Well, isn't that one like you got to threaten her?
While wielding a 2 harm or greater weapon.
She owes me a debt.
Oh, do you want to cash in that debt to give her +1?
I could.
Okay, so I think is that something you would like to do?
Sure. Doesn't it give the persuade +3?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, right. Okay. So
I'll do
you
that.
get a +3
Nice.
as well as
That's
heart.
good because I needed it. That's an 8.
Nice. Okay. She's like, I agree. Perhaps an aggressive move to ensure the Hangmen don't fall into damnation's clutches could be worthwhile.
The Lord has already seen fit to rain blood upon the town. We shall visit one of the other plagues.
Well, frogs.
Rain frogs, sorry.
Yeah, which that's a bit powerful, don't you think, for Talbot?
Good stacks.
that is not even a power that my master has. So
But maybe the
something else
Hellfire
is-
Club does.
The main
Well,
point.
Inferno Club, sorry. Inferno Club, not Hellfire.
Yeah, Hellfire Club is copyright like Sir Francis Dash. I made this joke last time. But that's a real
Oh,
thing.
it's the
But
world?
I hope. I don't know.
I'm curious.
The main thing being that we shall visit various other things upon damnation, which shall be his lot.
Ooh. Oh man, turning his own name against him. So, as you guys are saying this, a group or a chorus of howls start coming through the woods. Very familiar to you. And the Howling Hussars are going to make a sortie onto Gethsemane. So you can hear some of the sentries are calling out. They're like rushing in to defend themselves. Hecate Winthrop is like, she's very much rushing out to do battle. You can tell she's like conjuring some of her magic together. And coming out of the woods are going to be like 4 kind of smaller wolves and Ludwig himself, who you recognize.
I'm on it.
Yeah, so these Hussars are rushing in.
Great. Wolves. Just what the doctor ordered.
Let's do it.
Yeah, trying to, like, drive them out of Gethsemane. So, I'm going to say, let's start with Lars, and we'll kind of go around this way. Right now, they're bounding through the trees, like about to attack.
All right, and so bounding through the trees, huh?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so I don't want to get eaten alive.
Coward.
Salvation is
Tell you
found
what.
inside the belly of the wolf.
I'll watch you first, then I'll see if I want to join. But I don't, so I'm going to use... I'm going to actually wait. How far away are they?
What are you thinking of doing?
Possibly letting them get closer to harm multiple at once. Because I can do 2 to an area with 3 to an individual.
Why don't you roll a mislead to try and, like, attract 2 of them on you?
Ooh, I can
Lure
maybe
them
use
in.
my mirror to duplicate myself.
Oh, yeah, that's really
what I
cool.
think.
All right, so roll to mislead so that they'll go towards the illusion of you created by the mirror.
It's an awesome mirror, man.
Yeah, it's
That
a cool
Love
tool.
mine.
No, I get to use heart, so that's a 9 for me.
That's awesome.
Nice. Okay, so with a 9 for distract, you get to pick 2. So it's like an opportunity or exposing a weakness by, like, bringing them together.
I would like to confuse them for some time, which creates the either weakness or opportunity. Yeah, because I'm like, there's 2 of me, and maybe I don't know how that does that, but I think that'll be good. You said I get to pick 2, right?
How does
Yeah.
opportunity work in this game? Like when somebody has opportunity.
Probably gives us +1 forward or something.
It could be that, or like they're just in a weaker area, or like now they're able to be hit by some other characters. I mean, I guess it's kind of like
Open-ended.
situation. Yeah.
So yeah, if they're coming at me, maybe their sides exposed instead of just head on, so better shots.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see that. All right, so let's have Goody Pruitt.
Oh, she's got the blunderbuss out.
Silver blunderbuss?
Do you have silver bullets for the blunderbuss?
Yeah.
Ooh.
It is silver. It is big. It is high powered, and she's a slayer.
All right, let's see if you can take out some werewolves.
All right.
Sorry, Andre, well, they're not your werewolves.
Whichever wolf looks like it's
Sorry.
in the lead, that's the one she's aiming at.
Okay.
Her blood is still very good, so that's still a 7.
That's to hit.
That is her unleash attack is a 7. Yeah. Just double check.
Okay.
Yeah. So I do choose to inflict terrible harm. I will choose that I find myself in a bad spot. Which is I've made myself a target of a hell of a lot of werewolves just now.
Yep.
And also the gun has she can't reload it right now.
Yeah, it's like a one-shot
It's
shot
a one
blunderbuss.
gun thing.
Yeah.
On the other hand, this is silvered harm, which is increased by 1, and then I inflicted severe harm, so that's another 1, and then the weapon itself does 4, so that's 6.
6.
Harm.
Okay. You are going to take out one of the wolves.
Cool.
So there's a tawny furred one, a silver furred one, a sable furred one.
Go with the silver one.
Okay. Silver and takes out silver.
Okay.
So you one-shot this wolf, just like kind of blowing apart, or you're firing into its sides, so like its innards come spreading out the other side into that gray New England soil, and it goes down.
And then she just instantly whips out her bow and arrow and is ready to start shooting some of these other ones.
All right.
And she says very loudly, "The Lord is my shepherd; I shall not want."
Ooh.
Because it's,
Okay.
her killing mantra.
So I'm going to step in between the wolves and Lars and just scream at the wolves, "Stand down now!"
Ooh. Okay. I like this idea. I would say this is. I mean, I can actually see let it out or persuade. What do you think it would be? Because you're letting out your.
Probably better for it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what that usually happens when I let people pick, but I'm okay with that.
Yeah. I'm not... No, actually, Yeah. This is gonna happen. I'm going to let it out and transform
Ooh.
while screaming this.
Okay. I mean, you already know he's a wolf, so.
I don't.
No, she doesn't.
Oh, really? I mean, you like. It's
No,
kind of
doesn't
supernatural.
run out.
Oh, but you haven't actually transformed. All right.
Not in front of her.
Okay. Let's.
She was
let's
very cautious
let's
about
wolf.
last one.
It's wolf time. How'd you do with the let it out?
It's 9.
Okay. So that is
You have to mark a corruption.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. My first corruption.
Yeah.
Not
And
mine.
then you just take one from the list. That's what let it out does. 7.
Okay.
So you can take a +1 forward on your next roll, extend your Well, actually, you took the one from the list, which is transforming. That's take a definite hold of something.
Yeah.
So that's actually the one thing they did. So you mark
Well,
corruption.
I mean, part of my transformation is I transform, I keep my cool. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it. That's one of the.
Okay.
I think that just means you don't go into a blood frenzy. So
Yeah,
you
you're
don't
like
have-
you're in control of yourself.
You don't have to hunt.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna say you transformed, and what do you like? What are you saying to these wolves?
Basically, yeah, just stand down.
Okay. I'm gonna say like that's your role was enough so that it's like effective enough.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like one of them is dead, and that probably helps and has something to do with it as well. But now the other ones are like they're not moving into attack anymore. So Ludwig comes upon his way out of the woods, and he's upset at his underlings refusing to press the attack. He faces you, and he's like, "You'll stand in my way, Romanian."
I stand in the way of someone who is grabbing for way too much power than he deserves. And it is not you.
He says like, "Bah! The strongest wolf rules these woods. That is to be me. The Howling Hussars are mine."
You can have the Howling Hussars.
Say it for one of them.
I never wanted the Howling Hussars. Honestly, Claggett is really just starting to disappoint me. I'm starting to believe that his being exiled here was for a good reason.
Ooh, okay. Ludwig is not like that. In fact, I'm gonna say he's gonna try and get a bite on you. So you're gonna have to keep it cool.
Could I figure someone out on Ludwig?
Let's see you roll the keep it cool. And we'll do the harm first, and then like as he's tearing your throat out, you'll be like, "What is this guy?"
That's a 9.
Okay, so you're gonna take your armor. You have an extra
I have an extra armor.
armor.
So, yeah.
Okay, so it's gonna go through that armor, and it's gonna take you to the first level of wounds, which is let me show you that. Yeah, the faint harm.
Okay.
So your faint harm is done,
Okay.
and that's gonna be it's a pretty nasty bite in on you.
Okay.
So I'm gonna be like bit. What's the word? Chewed arm, I guess. Yeah, he doesn't like. I mean, he pierces the skin a bit. You are a wolf, so it's going to do okay. But the wound will stay when you transform back. But it won't be like you still have the arm. It's not halfway gone. Right? Yeah, it's not total chew toy.
So, I'm going to see if I can.
Okay,
I'm gonna
so
sort
you
of
will
like
figure it out.
phrase it as sort of like I'm going to physically be asking the questions if I have any of them.
Okay, so roll mind for inches. Not so good, or very good.
That's a 6.
Ooh, okay.
You bitch your arm like, what was I thinking?
Yeah, maybe just in the heat of combat, you're not quite able to
Yeah.
tell what this guy wants. Yeah. All right, Patrick.
Cool. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. I saw him get bit. I saw the other ones back down. I'm like, well, might as well. I'm gonna try to roll for the devil inside.
That's fine.
Not great.
So much information.
Still a 7, so I still get to choose one. And I'm going to draw out my pistol,
Yeah.
but it's going to look
I
different.
already think you're a DM.
As the wood on it is not made of wood, it's made of bone.
Whoa.
So I'm choosing the 2-harm close, having a short-range pistol, essentially.
Sure. The bone
So
gun.
you have a bone gun that's just your hand?
Well, it's not my hand, it's just the gun.
So it's not like
It's a demonic gun.
It's not a video
So you
drum.
didn't turn into anything?
Yeah.
No.
That was my question. It's not a video drum. I'm glad you instantly knew what I was
Yeah, I was like, this is a video drum? No, it's not a video.
It's a very subtle transformation as I
All hail the new
move
flesh?
close.
I don't think so.
As I move close enough that I can actually use it again as it is close though. So yeah. That's what I'm doing.
Alright. I'll let you do... Or actually, no, because I kind of let Lars do the one thing. We'll get back to you. Lars. So, you were able to lure in the wolves with that illusion. One got blasted. There's still 2 others, and Ludwig, who is kind of in dogfight with him.
I would like to sort of nod at you. Nice to see you in true form. Thank you for stepping in. And you said, how much pain did you take? How much did I see you get hit for? Basically?
That's a faint arm.
Faint arm.
So,
Okay.
yeah, he got bitten like his arm.
I'm gonna use my glamours if I can, and I would like to possibly extend my illusions or increase them so there's like a party of us, not just a fort. You know, like right.
Ooh,
There
so like
is.
kind
There's more of us come out and like
Shadow
you
clone
don't want to
jutsu?
do this, right? Yeah, basically, really multiplies if I can do that.
Okay.
Because it says glamours, you create illusions to fool the senses.
Yeah, that makes sense. So, and this just happens, right? You need to roll for
This is a fairy power.
Yeah.
So I could, if you want, I could try to roll for tricking again.
No, I mean I think you rolled high enough last time for the tricks are still the tricks for kids are still going. The trickery continues.
Okay.
The wolves are tricked. Is what I'm saying. All right, the illusions are there. Actually, I totally forgot for them to go. I skipped my own turn.
Oh yeah.
Oops.
Kat, I'm gonna have you roll a keep your cool as a wolf bites you because you weren't put in a bad spot.
Okay.
that's true.
I shall do my keep my cool. Using my Slayer skills, which means I roll on blood. Yay! That's a 8.
Pretty good. Okay. You're going to move up to... You're going to take the faint... You have armor?
I don't have armor.
Oh, okay.
She already had the one faint harm. Does that mean I just take 1x on Grievous?
Yeah, I think it's going to go to Grievous.
Okay.
So you're going to get a nasty, like, shoulder bite.
Okay.
And Wolf's going to, like, tackle you and be like...
Do you want me to mark 2 on Grievous or just the 1?
Just the one, I would say, at this point. Yeah. Okay, and now it is your turn. So there's a wolf, like, on you.
Okay.
Oh, it's the tawny third one.
Gotcha.
Gnawing on you.
Let's see. Huh, the bow is listed as close, so I guess I can shoot. Thanks for not being D&D.
Well, I imagine you're like... I mean, you're not like... I think you're just taking the arrow and hitting him with the arrow.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and do my bow.
All right.
Well, I mean, if somebody's standing right next to you and you did that...
I jumped.
Threw a dice. Yeah. Well, I mean, the wolf's like...
Nice. Ah, my eye!
Like, the point at which the arrow...
Get a silver?
The point at which the arrow is moving fastest is when the bow snaps.
Yeah.
Taut. So somebody that's standing like right on top of you is gonna really feel it. It's something I've always vehemently disagreed with in D&D is like, you can shoot somebody point blank with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, but the point is
I know they're like messing with you or something.
it's you currently like they're trying to swipe at you with a melee weapon, so it's harder to pull back and get a full pull on it.
That's sort of what... And this is a kind of a different situation to that as well. But
Anyway.
I imagine you're actually like
6 seconds.
hand arrow into the wolf's side.
Talking about the role playing system.
Well, because the bow is high powered,
Yeah.
so it does extra damage. That's why That's fun forever. At any rate, it's a 10.
Very good. Okay.
So yeah, I'm doing inflict terrible harm, obviously. They can't inflict harm on me, because, yeah. Or they don't inflict harm on me as a result. I'm not in a worse position. I'm in a better position because I just shot this asshole. So let's see. So the bow does +3. The inflict trouble harm is another one. And then the fact that she is deadly is another, so that's 5 harm.
Okay. Jeez. I'm going to say this, yeah, the tawny furred wolf is also gone. You managed to get this arrow, like, right into the throat. It's silver, too, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so...
It's silvered AF. And
Yeah.
it's blessed, too.
Whoa, so you get it, like, through... I'm going to demonstrate with this pencil and kill it. Destroy man.
I'm just gonna kill myself.
Yeah, a live
On
Tiny
air.
Tabletop's first live on-air
Suicide.
throat, jugular. Okay, well, maybe I'll Steve Martin version for the viewers at home. It's like this, all right? Yeah, so it's through the throat, and the wolf is dead.
This is probably, like, maybe significant to some of you, but she does, like, that and just throws her bonnet on the ground.
Oh man! Oh,
Whoa.
how scandalous! She doesn't have a hat on.
I know. Whoa. How about our own werewolf? Andre, you
And now you
and
can see that
Ludwig
she's got red hair, but it's, like, streaked with white at this point.
Makes sense.
You and Ludwig are like going at it.
Yeah. You may be powerful with the Hussars, but I have seen this hunter. As you can see, has already taken out 2 of them. If you do not wish to lose more from your ambitions, I would stand down.
I think you're doing the persuade for him. See if that works.
You wouldn't say that I'm in my territory, would you?
I think actually, you know what? I'll say you are.
Can I do an assist with
You're
him
close enough
since
to the wounds.
My intense violence is...
Yeah, let's have you roll his faction knight to see if you can get the assist point +1. How'd that
8.
go?
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Nick, you get +1 for her assist
Awesome.
as well.
So, and
I felt like you're using me as an example.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that too.
No,
like,
yeah.
that would be like a good.
But
Yeah.
yeah.
In fact, she says, like, he restoreth my soul when she rips off her bonnet. So.
Ooh.
Yeah. So yeah, since he is in my territory, I'm going to use Alpha Dog and persuade with blood. 5, 4, 9, 11, 12.
Whoa. All right. His ears like flatten, and his tail starts to dip between his legs a bit. So he starts. He removes his teeth from your body and starts like creeping his way back up, heading for the shelter of the trees.
Before you go, you wouldn't happen to know our master's plans here besides just causing chaos?
Ooh.
Figure and also, what is your deal with this? What are you doing here? Were you sent by the order? I think would this be a figure someone out?
Yeah, this would be figure someone out. I think. Yeah.
So let's. Can I do it this time? Oh yeah, 12 or no, 11. Sorry.
Whoa.
Fine.
All right. So you can ask 2 questions from that list there.
So, yeah, what's your character hoping to get from working with Claggett?
Okay. He's like, he's looking at you, and his eyes are getting a bit wider. And he's like, the job I should have gotten at the beginning, the job you have now.
You're the one who set me up with this job in the first place.
I introduced you to the Order only to have you surpass me.
My family has been in the Order for many generations.
I introduced you to Claggett only to have you surpass me.
That was your own fault.
Ooh, alright, you get to ask one more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is the favorite with werewolves.
Who was the alpha?
Yeah, this guy's the alpha right now, for sure.
Open game, character's beef. I already know his beef.
Yeah, nothing like a jealous werewolf.
Yep, I already know who's pulling his strings. I asked that question.
Maybe ask him how you're going to do something, or how to get him in your debt.
That's sort of like... That's sort of where I am leaning, sort of... yeah, how could I get him into my debt?
He would say, you seem to have little respect for our master left. If you could make me rise higher in his estimations, let his hand stroke my fur as it once was.
Babe is
The guy likes getting a scratchy, like all dogs.
He just likes his pets.
I know.
Every dog likes his pet.
He's just a dog that wants his master to love him. So if you could get Claggett to like care about him and make him rise higher up in the ranks to be Claggett's right hand wolf, then you would definitely be in your debt.
It does owe... He himself owes me a debt, so I will see what I can do.
Okay, and with that, I think he's going to start. Him and the other wolf, the sable wolf, are going to start running away. Padraig, anything you want to do here, or the battle's kind of won?
Yeah. I holster my gun. Well, that didn't work out. Still useless.
Way to go!
I kind of want to.
There's going to be something else, Padraig, so you'll get a chance to use the
Oh,
gun
I
at the
know.
same time. Yeah.
Don't worry. What is the deal with this place? Why is everybody attacking it? I want to do investigate a place of power.
Okay.
Like, what's so special about this place as a whole?
I actually was going to ask if I could do an investigative place of power. So
That's a 12.
Yeah,
Ooh.
I also want to learn more, but that could also be...
Okay, so so you see that Gethsemane?
Yeah.
I mangled
Gethsemane.
that. Gethsemane is it's kind of it's situated in a place that through like sort of occult geography, like with ley lines, those intersecting lines of power, a bunch of them happen to meet at this place, and that's sort of what the Angelus Aperture is drawing on. So that's this tree coming out of the earth that's sort of harvesting the magical energy.
So I guess because I also get to ask one question about the schemes of the faction. They chose this particular. Did they choose this particular place to summon something powerful?
Maybe not so much the summoning. That's Hecate's project.
Yeah.
But Goodwife Barlow went to this place because it is spiritually important.
Okay.
And she was looking for like maybe I'm not remembering my New Testament, but it's like it's a sanctuary. So,
Okay.
Like a
Interesting.
New Jerusalem.
yeah. Is that what? Gethsemane is like the garden where
Jesus was betrayed.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if she views herself as like a Jesus figure,
Yeah, what she does, she sees herself as kind of like a
it's like where the Last Supper took place.
yes,
Messianic.
yes. So it's like a holy place where they're kind of they're trying to make their own community.
So I was hoping to also do an investigative place of power, but I'm mostly curious about, do I think that these people are still godly, or do I think that they're Satanists?
All of you roll investigate a place of power, and we'll kind of see how that goes.
Oh!
Okay.
That's a 13.
Is anybody? There's like one fail this whole night. This is not fair.
Dude, let's be honest.
I've been rolling with blood a lot, so...
That's true.
Yeah, but you rolled a 12 even without the addition. Okay.
You forget that
Can I see your sheet
you
really
forget that when
quick?
I ran Monster of the Week, it was nothing but fails in that first episode. So I think this table is just kind of balancing it out.
Yeah, that might be it.
And by the way, I've leveled up. I'm taking a wolf move.
Really?
All right. Well, let me answer your question first, and then
Reckless.
Yeah.
I'm gonna reveal one more thing, and then maybe that could be a cool way for you to reveal that wolf move.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so it's not necessarily like the devil is like as you know it with like the black masses and the book and Black Phillip and all that. It's not necessarily here. They're definitely Christian, but it's like sort of maybe a different. It is different from the Puritan from the harsh Puritanism that you know. Like there's no the kind of, in fact, sort of hypocrisy that you've seen in like Damnation Talbot like would not be found
Okay.
here.
So she approaches Bessie Barlow
Mm-hmm.
and goes, I renounce my associate, because she's noticed all these women don't have their heads covered. That was like the symbol.
Yes, yeah, uh-huh.
I renounce my association with the Hangmen and wish to join you here in Gethsemane to defend you. For I have defended them for a long time, and I've been a good Christian in doing so, and yet they would try me as a witch. You have been my friends and defended yourselves with honor.
So Goodwife Barlow says, the Lord is ever welcoming. I wish to follow his example. All are welcome here, and you in particular, I am very glad to call you my sister.
Very good. And then I'm going to roll a let it out.
Oh, what's happening there?
She might regenerate damage.
She took it.
New
Oh, so you think it's like so in fiction? Are you thinking like maybe like the energy in this area is healing you? Like is the...
Maybe, or it has something to do with being gotten bitten by a werewolf.
Oh, okay.
Don't know.
Figure that out.
Yeah.
I'm kind of okay with either, like depending on how you want to take your character.
Yeah. She might end up being a werewolf when all is said and done.
Yeah, or like an angel woman. I don't know.
For some reason, she has regeneration now.
Yeah.
First, the line of the forests.
Okay. Well, cool. All right. You
I
just
don't
roll.
have to mark a corruption.
All right. So
I get an extra one
a
of these.
glowing energy fills you up with the heals.
I guess I'll extend my senses supernatural or otherwise. And get good vibes, man.
Yeah.
Regardless, I've healed my grievous harm. It
So,
just heals up.
I would
on
like
its
to
own.
change back into human form with From the Brink. So, rolling with spirit.
Okay.
Yes.
And as you were doing this,
Yes.
there are some galloping hooves coming your way.
Okay. I guess I'll mark a corruption because I gotta. I gotta
So not a great, but you managed to get yourself back into human
Well,
form.
it's either that or take
no one's
harm,
at my level of
so-
corruption anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only got 2 corruptions so far, so it was either that or take harm.
I'm at 7.
Yeah.
So the rider returns, and riding alongside her is Virtue Wright, who is Reverend Wright's daughter. She's looking very worried, and she's like, "There's trouble in Salem. My
Alright.
father, they've captured him.
I'm gonna guess they're gonna hang him.
I fear that might happen. And Ruth and David, they're in the safe house, but they are besieged. I think that the Hangmen are trying to seek them out and find them."
I see. Well, the safe house should be hidden from them, but nevertheless, I would like to head there with these, my new strong allies. Sir Wolf, I do owe you an apology for judging you harshly. You do have the right to whip me, if you wish. And she tells you...
Is that sword made of silver?
I believe.
Is it a silver sword?
It's a switch.
Oh, it's a sword. It's a sword. Like,
Don't whip somebody with a sword.
I'm just kidding.
It hurts them.
Whack!
You hit him with the flat of the blade. That hurts a lot, too.
The silver tip flip.
And with that, and with this merry band riding off back to the safe house, I think we're going to bring this episode to a close. Or at least with those ending moves. So,
Yeah.
let's kind of go around maybe the opposite way, starting with Patrick.
Oh, wow.
If you learn something about a faction, you can up a score by one or down a score by the other. And then if you think maybe someone here owes you a debt, or maybe you think you owe somebody here a debt yourself.
So I'm going to drop down mortality.
What?
I wonder why.
Yeah.
It's a mystery. I'm also going
Yeah.
down mortality.
Yeah, honestly, I learned that the good Reverend Wright, yeah, a lot of R's for me, is a good man, but unfortunately he has lost control of what's currently going on in his city.
Oh, absolutely.
So that's that. I think I'm gonna increase my WoW because I kind of lost faith in them for a while, especially after the whole Creek issue. But coming and bailing us out without being asked, so it's just like that's very nice of them.
All right.
I of course don't know what's going on with Lars' character in the backstory, so I think they're just doing a good, kind thing for us.
Would you say someone here owes you a debt, or you owe somebody?
Um,
Grab some water while you're thinking about that one.
I don't think anybody here really owes me a debt. My character hasn't been doing a whole lot.
Well, you owe the devil your soul.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I'm gonna just copy down.
that's a thing, yes.
Okay.
You don't mind? No, go for it.
Yeah, yeah, I guess I owe Asmodeus.
Oh, great. All right.
Asmodeus, one debt as he gave me power.
Okay.
I think that's a good way to resolve it. As I lean more into the twisted archetype.
How about Andre? Which one do you think? What faction rises? Which goes down?
I actually think Knight goes down.
I definitely think
my relationship with my lord is definitely slipping.
Yeah, you kind of spurned his offer there. And which one's going up?
That's a very good question.
Yeah, I can really see a case for a lot of them. Like you got a new mortal friend. Power helped you out a lot, and Wild helped you escape too. We can come back to you if you want to mull it over. Okay. You can think about who owes you a debt, or if you owe anybody a debt. Do you know any? You want to think about that one, or do you have an idea?
I'm not really sure.
All right. Well, we'll pop back to you.
Yeah.
Kat, so which one do you think would rise and which would fall?
Mortality goes down by 1.
That would make sense to
that's
me,
at
yeah.
2. So she still has.
Yeah, I mean,
She still has a lot of friends. She just doesn't have a friend in damnation.
Oh, none of us do.
Right. And power's going to go up by 1 because she's dedicated herself.
Yeah,
to
now she's kind of like sort of switched factions.
Yep, and she owes Andre a debt.
Okay.
Because she personally feels that she has wronged him.
Yeah, and he was kind of like fighting alongside him.
Yeah.
I
know she should technically owe him a debt too, but I can only owe one person a debt, so it's just Andre. She'll apologize to you next session.
No worries.
How about
I've never
Lars?
apologized to me because I've done no wrong.
She has nothing to apologize.
Yeah,
So-
no, I've done a whole lot of nothing.
For me, watching the mortals sort of bicker over what was going on, and then me being put in a situation was definitely down 1, so it's back to 0. And then it was a toss-up, but I just went with Wild +1 because of the breakout. Our man came through, so got me out of a situation that I didn't feel like I should have been in. And then I already nodded to him earlier for the step in, but that's basically my way of saying I owe you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So we owe each other.
Yeah.
Dig it up.
Cool. Andre, how about you? Which faction's going up?
So Wild is going up to 3.
Yeah, that makes sense because you got saved by a Hungry Jacques there.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
In terms of debts,
The friendly Wendigo.
yeah.
When the friendly
Friendigo.
you god dang it.
I'm not really sure about debts.
Friend to go. Oh, friend. Friend. Oh, friend. Oh, friend.
You think anybody owes you a debt, or you feel indebted to anybody here?
Friend. Football friend.
Can it be an NPC?
That's okay.
I feel Asmodeus.
Well,
that's
yeah.
fine. So,
I think I owe it to our good friend Jacques.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes sense.
Pull this out
All
of
right.
that spot.
So next time we got a bit of a showdown going on in Salem as everything's heating up, and now there's some all-out war between the factions. So
yeah, they're turning on each other. They're turning
Yeah.
on the other factions.
So we'll see what happens, and it's going to be a hot time in Salem.
lot of faction on faction action.
Oh yeah, guaranteed 100%
Coined it.
satisfaction,
Good call.
Coined it.
Trademarked.
and that'll be tomorrow or not tomorrow, next Tuesday or next
Yes.
episode. Thence I will command the serpent.
Ooh, dang.
Yeah.
It's a strong title.
That's it.
More of that
Whoa.
great John Edwards.
Bring
Yes.
sex into it.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I know we had some people hopping in and checking it out. Make sure and check out the 20% off that you can get for this system. I know that I am going to be purchasing it myself.
Yeah, it's good.
I'm very intrigued by it. I love the look of the book.
I got book number 2 on
There's
the
a
way as
couple-
well.
Oh no,
Yeah.
so good. So I'm going to be getting this one in a copy here soon, within the next week or so. Now we did have. I love the part about the way we can metagame without metagaming, because we can ask questions outside the game, inside the game, through the chat, and but some things transpired during the thing. So right at the beginning, we had somebody redeem some of their table tokens to say, "I dare Andre to tell Goody Pruitt he is a werewolf."
I think that happened.
So that's what I said.
Yeah.
Right?
It's all
Oh,
through his actions of turning into a
so it
werewolf.
was. It's not all for lost, but it was quite the premonition. I mean,
Yeah.
it was pretty cool to see that just come to fruition, because that happened you did it like a minute before we went into the game,
Yeah,
but I
I
didn't
did.
catch it. That's why it was really funny. So either she drew that out of you and you didn't even know it, or she just could tell the future, or it was inevitable.
It was inevitable.
It was
it's gonna happen at
inevitable.
some
inevitable.
point.
It's
Oh, yeah.
inevitable.
Chekhov's werewolf. Like, you
What?
can't have a guy who's a werewolf and not
Luckily,
reveal to the rest of the people he's a werewolf.
I mean, come on.
luckily, you managed to hit her right when she had a chance.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yep.
Because
So-
she did everything she could to argue from the Bible, and it didn't do her any good. And clearly, they're gone.
Well, there's some part of the Bible that says werewolves are cool. I'm pretty sure there is. Somewhere in there. No.
Doesn't really talk about werewolves.
I think there must be a
It
part.
kind of doesn't really have
Leviticus 2, I think, says werewolves.
Not really in the cultural history of its creators.
Yeah, Deuteronomy 8, it's like werewolves are good, actually.
Romans 5.
I can't.
Leviticus 50 something. But werewolves are cool.
When in doubt, go Old Testament.
Yeah.
That is
It's in third
that is what we've learned tonight, folks.
The one that no one really cares for. They only stop at the second and switch to the next
When in
one.
doubt. Well, thanks for
read
watching,
Richard
hanging out with
somewhere
us,
else.
and join us next week. We're gonna go right back into this craziness. Check out the Urban Shadows for sure. Just go to that website there, magpiegames.com, and check them out. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. Make sure and pull up a chair and make time to tabletop.
Oh my God!
All right, guys.
Time for it.